Hi. This is take 2. Sorry for the video quality, but our regular software is malfunctioning.
We're using the laptop in the living room, so it's not the normal setup. So,
yep. You'll note Selma's not here. She's still eating gelato in Italy.
Oh yeah, we got to say all that again.
Well, we don't have to say all of it again.
Welcome to Two Tangled Skeins. I'm Sue, also known as Crafty Knitter 7. Today is Saturday, May 27th, 2017.
Still right there.
I know it's still right there. Episode 207.
204.
204.
It's written down right in front of her.
I'd like to welcome new and returning viewers. Your turn. I'm just going to sit here and knit.
Yes, apparently this software has a very slow frame rate. It doesn't have our usual one, so we're very choppy. Woo! Look at this! Sorry. Easily amused. I'm Lynn, also known as Tall Baby. I was about to show you my first whip, and I was like, wait a minute, missing something. You can find us on Ravelry, Facebook, no, I already said Ravelry, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We have an account for the podcast. I was going to say blog on Instagram, and we also have individual accounts. We all have Etsy shops, and you can find us at our blog at twotangledskeins.com. Tash is just fed up with all of us right now. She just went from one dog bed to the other dog bed.
That's the orthopedic one. So
yes,
she's old. We
relocated. We're in Sue's living room right now, as opposed to the room that we normally record in. And
look what happened.
It's brighter. Because we're on her laptop, not the desktop that we use in there. It's brighter. It's a gorgeous day outside, and we wanted to change space. So there we go.
So if there's background noise, sorry.
Yeah, there's dogs. There's a husband.
There's
a son. There's people walking around. Although most of the time they're pretty quiet.
But it doesn't feel as stuffy out here either, because we kind of feel a little...
Yeah, it's a much bigger room. Sue's got a sort of open concept entryway and coming into the living room, so we've got the whole entryway, and the dining rooms are over here, and the kitchen's over there, and like the whole sort of common area of the house is surrounding us. So
yep.
It's very nice.
So no foes.
And see, there is green in her house.
There is. That's the lighter green. Oh no, that's the darker green, but it's showing lighter.
Yeah.
My hallway and living room and door area is all 2 shades of green.
Kitchen's yellow, oddly enough, but the rest of it's green.
I didn't pick the kitchen.
Well, you have to let him have one wall.
But it's not full walls, so I'm okay.
It's actually a really nice yellow. It's a nice southwest sort of yellow. Anyway.
So,
there are no foes because Selma's not here. There was almost a foe. I held back because I was going to finish these last night. And then I was like, no, I want to show them before I take them apart. What? Yes.
So you went like this, and all I could think is, whoosh. What you do with the belt?
Okay. Apparently Sue is also easily amused. So, these are my Afterthought Everything socks by Erica Kemp Broughton. I wanted to show what they look like before I chop them up to put the heels and toes in.
She showed restraint.
I did, because I was ready to finish them last night. And so this here is the line where I'm going to put in the heel. This is where I was last week. I did all of this since Tuesday. This double line here in the middle with the... Okay, that was weird.
Sorry, I forgot to put something on the
This line here is where the toe is going to go. And I've already woven in all my ends on the inside and everything. Like, all the ends are woven. Oh, yes. Okay, that's a good idea. There's my next heel, and there's the cuff. You'll notice that one of the cuffs flares out a little bit more than the other. That's the cast on, which is stretchy. This is the Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off, which is also very stretchy. Because I discovered last time when I did toe-up socks that my cast off tends to be very tight.
Imagine that. It's stretchy.
So this way, they both stretch the same amount.
That's kind of awesome.
And I wanted to be like, yes, it flares out a little bit with the Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off, but I don't care because you're not going to be able to tell on my leg.
No.
And none of you are going to be looking in my sock drawer.
If you're staring that closely.
Yeah, maybe you have problems.
Yes.
Or a foot thing. So who knows? I don't judge. What?
Keep going.
I've known people who have foot fetishes.
I know that. You've known a lot of people who have a lot of things. Continue.
I don't
Before
judge.
we side rail really badly.
Mike is at the International Mr. Leather competition in Chicago this weekend.
Is Rob going to see him?
No.
I would go see that.
I would go see that too, but we're kind of not invited.
No. Because we're normal folk.
No, it's
Regular folk.
It's not intended for
Us.
It's I don't know if straight men can compete. I don't know. I'll have to ask them. But it's as far as I know, it's a gay men's leather fetish competition. So anyway, he's off doing that. Friend of ours.
If you don't know who Mike is and you've watched us for a while, it's Mike from Knit Night.
Mike from the coffee shop, yeah, the guy who lives next door to the coffee shop where we have Knit Night. So anyway,
because you
you challenged me to go on a tangent, so I went there.
You're welcome.
He's been posting pictures all weekend. So you can see that my toe line is right down the middle. And because that's how I was measuring, I was comparing with my toe line. I only counted rows for the cuffs and the part above the heel because I like short socks. So the pink, corally pinky salmon color is an unknown sock yarn that I was given years ago, already wound up. I think it was from Dara's stash, actually. So, no idea what it is. It's probably a Reggie or an Opal because it is kind of scratchy. And it definitely has wool because I did a burn test. And the blue, the lovely blue, is Juliana's Fiber Lucid Dream Sock. And I love the way this knit up. Look at that. And they match. In the Luna colorway, which is the colorway she dyed before she started doing self-striping yarns. And I really wanted to salvage this yarn from the shawl that I had frogged. Because
I think it worked out.
It was one of the
lovely.
first skeins of Juliana's I bought, and I love it.
And now you'll actually wear it.
And now I'll get to wear it, whereas the shawl, which didn't turn out right because, as the designer told me when I was test knitting for her, she said, I think that colorway might be too busy for this pattern. She was right. And I was stubborn, so I no longer have a shawl.
You? Stubborn?
I have a sock whip.
I'm your BFF. I can teach you.
Anyway, I will reknit Anya's shawl at some point in another yarn. And so I got to salvage my sock yarn. And that has been living in my Art by Anna
who is sadly closed.
Farm Animals bag, which is getting a little bit washed out. There we go. That's a good representation. That completely darkened us. And my needle keeper from Mandy, who is Mandy Pinecone Crafts podcast. My little sushis. So that has all been... That's pretty much almost all I've been working on this week. Except for...
Why is that all you've been working on this week? Because you didn't tell that part of the story.
No, I know.
Because, we have to redo the whole thing.
Alright, fine. A real estate agent was coming to my house on Monday, and I had to sort of crisis clean because my house was a mess. It was a complete disaster. And so I spent the first 3 days cleaning and didn't bring my knitting in from the car after I got home from Sue's last Saturday. So my Find Your Fade and my baby blanket are still sitting in my back seat.
There's no temptation in the house.
No. I mean, I made sure that there was no knitting. I was not knitting. I was not watching shows. I wasn't doing anything except cleaning for the first 3 days. And after that, after they left, I was like, I'm liking all this space. So I've continued to do, not all day, every day, but I've continued to do quite a bit of cleaning for the rest of the week. So I haven't done a lot of knitting. And I don't have any internet at home right now. So I haven't been able to sit down and watch podcasts, which, by the way...
You have a new one?
No, but apparently I won something on the
Dunkelgren
podcast, and I can't watch it. So,
would you like to watch it after we record?
Maybe if it's not too long.
Okay.
Because somebody told me that I had won something, and I was like, oh, but I can't watch the episode because I don't have enough data on my phone plan to actually watch podcasts on. So,
yeah, that sucks up data.
Yeah, and so. I have to use my data sparingly because I don't know when I'm going to be able to turn the internet back on. So, yeah, I have to be careful and not use too much. The only other thing I've worked on is my blanket. It's kind of pathetic. I only added 4 squares, and I didn't even sew in the ends on the last one.
Yeah, but for the amount of knitting you did, 4 squares is a lot.
I can't remember if I showed this one because it's also in my first Find Your Fade. But this is Knit Picks Hawthorne in Ladd's Edition, which is apparently a neighborhood in Baltimore. Pretty sure it's Baltimore. Starts with a B.
Boston?
No, I'm pretty sure it's Baltimore. I was pretty sure it wasn't Boston.
Well, if you know, pipe in on the
But anyway, it was a birthday present from Andrea, who is the Cat Lady podcast, on my 40th birthday a couple of years ago. So that was the first square. This is Oasis Yarns. This is the first yarn in my new Find Your Fade. So it's Oasis Yarns Aussie Sock, and they don't have colorway names. So it was just, it was a big table of skeins of sock yarn, 2 for $20 at Stitches a couple of years ago. So I bought a few. And this one, I love this one. Look at the little speckles. Selma's going to love this one if she doesn't already have it. This is Geektastic Fibers Superhero Sock in the Easter Egg colorway. And it was a mini that she sent us with the yarn. And this one, speaking of Selma, this one is Selma's most recent pair of socks. It is Bergère de France Gumi 50 in the Imprime Prune colorway. And for some reason it looks a lot smaller than the other squares, but I'm sure it will work out when which is funny because this is also a Selma yarn down here. And they're in the same color palette. They're the same color, just different shades. So yeah, Selma has a definite palette. And this one's so soft. I have to remember what this one was. So that's all I've done was 4 squares on my blanket. That lives in my beautiful bag from Woolridge Designs. Yes, from Woolridge Design. I was just making sure the label's on the inside. I love this bag. Jen, the Uncreative Crafter, had bought this bag from Tanya. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I need that bag in my life. I love that fabric. Just so happened she had another one in her shop. And I couldn't afford it just then, so I didn't buy it. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And then I got my tax return. I got my tax refund. And I was like, oh, do I dare hope it's still there? It was still there. So I bought it. I love this bag. It's so pretty. So that's all I've done.
Cool.
Your turn.
My turn.
Yeah, I get to roll my blanket back up.
Your sushi roll. Oh no, it's a jelly roll.
This is a jelly roll.
I am knitting on the So Faded sweater that was gifted to me by Sarah, who is the Canadian knitter from the Canadian Knitter podcast.
Hi, Sarah.
And so I have a marker that shows you how much I've gotten done. And right now I'm doing the fade with between the brownish color with the green pops and the green. And it's like they match perfectly. And this is
also 3 Irish Girls.
Mm-mm.
No?
Oh! This is Sun Valley Fibers.
You're using something other than 3 Irish Girls? Sorry.
Mm-hmm. I don't actually have this on there because I was only knitting with one color before. So this is Sun Valley Fibers. And this is 3 Irish Girls in the Glenhaven Cashmerino Fingering in the Fresh Earth colorway. I am knitting this on 3.75 millimeters, which is a US 5. So I am getting very close to splitting off for the sleeves. And I'm loving it. And what I didn't do, according to the pattern, is the arm section is in garter stitch. And first of all, I made a mistake and didn't do garter stitch. And then I was like, well, I don't really like the look of garter stitch. So that's the only thing I'm changing. And that is housed in my bag from Emerald Fibers, which I absolutely love. It's gotta be. And the inside is the beautiful flowers if you haven't seen it.
The camera does not like that yellow.
Nope.
It completely changed the color when you put it up closer.
Yep. There.
That's accurate.
Yep. Oh, and the other thing I'm knitting on, and I was hoping to get it done, but it's just didn't happen, is my Atman shawl by Shannon Cook. This is a test knit, and so you can see where my stitch marker was. So I've gotten all this done. And I did not start knitting on it so that I can actually show it. So I have to finish a little bit more of this blue, then I do a little bit of the silver, and then I do the edging in the gray. And the gray is Knit Pick Swish DK. That was what was used for my calligraphy. The blue is Blad Dye Works, and I don't remember the colorway of that. Do I have it there? No. And the silver is Woolly Wonka. And it's got silk, so it's got this little bit, and you probably won't be able to see it.
It's got this
it's like a little bit of a sheen.
I challenge you to have a whip for for next weekend.
Oh, that'll happen. But now, challenge accepted. And now your viewers and your witnesses.
Now she has to.
I has no choice. Well, I brought it to work this week. You'll be proud. I brought it to work on. I only actually knit 2 days out of the 4 days we were at work. So, yeah. So that's that. Oh, sorry. It's on 4.5 millimeters, which is a US 7.
And they don't know I'm on painkillers this time, so they don't know why I'm
She's on
limpy.
painkillers. Mm-hmm. And this is being housed in my ever so lovely Zigzag Stitches bag that Catherine sent me as a result of me not being able to make it to the Knitters Frolic.
It's so pretty.
It's got bicycles.
And little black cats.
And little black cats.
And tulips.
It's just, I love it. It was even nicer in...
Oh, they're baguettes. I was like, is that a rabbit sticking in it? Yeah, they're breadsticks.
And so it's got this really nice gray polka dot inside, and then she put a pocket with red and gray polka dots. And I really love that. It's really big. Look how big. So,
it's as big as your head.
And the last thing that I actually knit on this week is...
If I just put that song in anybody's head, you're welcome.
Is my Fairy Hill Shawl by Curie's Handmade, who is Helen Stewart.
She's just ignoring me now.
Yep.
It's like I'm not even here.
So that's the shawl. I'm doing that version, which is the 2 color. And I'm just, yep. I did not start a row. I waited. So hopefully you can see the lace. You can see how much I got done, which is like a whole lace repeat.
Hurrah!
Yep. It's not showing the color. Well, that's kind of better there. And this is being knit out of Wool Barn Fairy Hill. So the colorway name is actually the name of the shawl. And I'm not sure if you're going to pick up the subtleties. Oh, there you go. So there's little pops of like reddish and blue and stuff, and that'll be for the border.
That's the Wool Barn Fairy Hill, by the way, not the red.
No. The red, sorry. And I have a problem with this colorway. It's Heavenly Fiber Platinum Sock in the Shepherd 815.
No, I'm pretty sure 815 doesn't go in the middle of the name because Shepherd Book was a character from Firefly.
So maybe 815 is...
It's just a colorway number.
Yeah.
Unless the number 815 has some significance that I've forgotten from having watched Firefly.
No, you would know. I wouldn't.
Yeah, so it's the Shepherd Book colorway.
Mm-hmm. This is being knit on 4 millimeters, which is a US 6, and it is in my bag from Moira of Knitting and Stitches, which has this beautiful fabric on the inside. Absolutely.
Your Anne of Green Gables bag.
Yep.
One of my friends has been raving about the new series, and I have not been able to bring myself to watch it yet.
I haven't either.
Because I am so in love with the Kevin Sullivan version from when I was growing up.
Well, how can you not love that?
But apparently, the new version is excellent.
It's
and
supposed
I need
to be.
to see it. So when I have internet again, I will do that. Because my friend Abigail has been raving about it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all I'm knitting on. And we will... Cows. So the 2 cows are still going on. 2017 Travel the World by Design, and in the second quarter is Europe Designers, and Brown Bag Sock Club second quarter from April till June.
And I've seen lots of pretty socks.
What's the name of the lady who knits the most socks normally?
Penny.
Penny. What is she up to, 15 pairs?
Don't know.
I'm just like...
The woman knits socks in her sleep. She's like Mina. It's crazy.
They knit socks in their sleep. I swear, I love them all, Penny, but it's just like, how? Mind you, I did watch the video of how Mina knits. Pretty darn fast.
Yeah, I know. So she was actually complaining the other day that she doesn't have as much knitting time as she used to, and I'm like, good, now you know how the rest of us feel.
You can
We can't knit in our sleep.
You can kind of sort of be average. Not. She's still above average. With
She's
the baby.
still knitting a heck of a lot faster than I can, but and she's what, 3 months old now? Oh my god, is she cute?
Oh,
if you follow me on Instagram, she is adorable.
Did you see her Harry Potter outfit?
Yes, I almost bought that one for Elizabeth when she was pregnant.
And her brother's in town for a couple weeks, and it's just the cutest. So,
anyway,
podcast.
So go watch Mina.
Yes. Or follow her on
Because
Instagram.
we're not going to recap Mina's whole podcast here.
No. And so we have an announcement to make.
Yes! Stash Dash has started on the Knit Girls podcast.
Yesterday.
And we have both joined. So
at midnight. Yes, this is the first year.
For me. And for both of us. So we decided to join Stash Dash. A bunch of our friends in the VKN group are very, very active Stash Dash people. So the last couple of years I've been sitting there watching them going, And this year I was like, yep.
Well, I was really glad. So if you want any information about that, go to the Knit Girls podcast group, and there's a whole thread with rules and explanations, and there is a Stash Dash video.
And I'm announcing to whoever is doing Stash Dash right now, the blanket squares you saw this week don't count for Stash Dash. They were pre-Stash Dash. So everything that I add from here on out is
as long as you can calculate the meterage, because they're doing it in meters.
Yes.
You're good.
5 grams of sock yarn is roughly 20 yards, which is 18 meters.
Yeah.
So.
And they've added a 1K this year.
Yeah, there was a 1K distance.
What was it, 5, 10, and 15 before?
3, 5, 10. 7, and 10, I think.
And now it's like it goes up to 15.
Does it? Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure because...
I went for 5.
I didn't announce what I'm going for because you don't have to announce it right away.
No, I'm going to try for 5. And if I make it, great. My intent with Stash Dash is to get all my works in progress off the needles.
Yeah, you can have works in progress as long as there is some sort of knitting or finishing, not sewing in ends or stuff like that.
So the heels and toes on this thing will count.
If you're doing a full bind off, and that's finishing.
Yeah,
there has to be
Tanya
some sort of
the bind off for her wedding shawl.
Yeah, some sort of, and there's weaving, spinning, and spinning counts as your singles, and if you ply it, it counts. If it's a 3-ply, it's times 3. If it's a 2-ply, it's times 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm spinning right now. That's why. So yeah, go join if you're.
I'm not quite there yet. The wheel is just about ready to come out of the closet, but not quite yet.
I'm almost done the green you gave me. It's not going to be a lot of yardage, but I don't care.
I'm still trying to get my hands on some Cordale.
I might have some in my stash. So
I'm sure I'll buy some at some point.
Oh, and it runs from May 26th at midnight to August 20th, and that's the whole time Laura is off from being in school.
Because school's out for her. Lucky woman, because my kids still have a couple of weeks left. And so, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't have to keep track as closely as I did with winter camp.
No, and I have her to keep me accountable.
Yeah.
Because I know she will.
Get knitting woman.
Shawl will count. Maybe I will finish my intersection and not frog it. Okay, I'm knitting. You go to Stash.
Okie dokie. There's Stash and she doesn't know what it is.
No. Well, wait. I did get Stash. It's not yarn related, but it's a birthday present. My husband
That's not Stash.
Basically said, it's new to me. I haven't.
Stash.
He's like, I don't know what to get you for your birthday. He did the whole blah blah blah. We've been together too long spiel, and I'm like, really? You've never had a problem before? And I'm like, well, I'd like a set of Lakey needles.
Those driftwood ones.
Yeah,
they're pretty.
I want to try them, and I haven't been able to find like single ones, as Plastic Co doesn't carry them. He's like, well, I have this idea, but I'm not sure if you'll love the idea of it or the practicality of it. And I was like, okay. I'm like, you're going to have to tell me because I have no clue. And he's like, propane fire pit.
And she's like, yes.
And so I put that in the group chat, and I'm like, And then as soon as Amanda said, but you can knit in the chairs in front of the fire pit. Sold.
So, she got a fire pit for her birthday. That's not all she got for her birthday.
Apparently not.
Now, I will confess that I originally placed this order because I want something for me. I saw this on the Cherry Hearts podcast back in March. And it is Nomadic Yarns, and this is the Molly Weasley colorway. And it's like perfect. I love it.
It's all kinds of awesome.
It's wonderful, and it's exactly what I wanted. And for some reason, there's a little bit of sparkle stuck to this, and there's no sparkle in the yarn, so I was a little confused by that. So this is her twisty sock base, which is 400 yards, 80% merino, 20% nylon. Merino.
Does it say how many colors?
Nope.
Okay.
But it says if you go into her shop,
Yeah.
there's orange and sort of a mustardy yellow and a brown and a burgundy and a green and some pink and it goes almost to black in some places. So anyway, I saw this on Cherry Heart's podcast. I saw it knit up and I was like, I need that. And this was back when, you know, I had income. So I ordered it. I have not had income since the end of March. It kind of sucks. And then I saw something else in her shop. Oh! Look, you get a birthday lollipop too.
Weeks ago, she's like, ordered your gift, and I'm like, okay. Really? You gave me that?
Mm-hmm.
It says Dum Dums. This is for me.
This is for you.
Okay. I love the packaging.
Yes, flamingos. That's the outer envelope. Don't look at the label.
I'm not. I was looking at your address.
You know where I live.
Yes, I do.
It's called Get Lucky.
I'm thinking, yeah. Wow. That is Irish if I've ever seen Irish.
I saw that and went, Sue needs that.
Black, gold, what's the bright green?
That's chartreuse.
Chartreuse, there's a dark green.
And there's a Kelly green.
And there's a Kelly. Oh my.
I saw that and went, Sue needs that.
I think I might have to cast on some Afterthought Everything socks for myself. Thank you.
You have to find a contrasting yarn first. I have some black Regia.
How much yardage do I need for sock, toes, heels, and cuffs?
Less than 10 grams.
Okay, I've got some black in a 20-gram ball in...
There you go.
I'm squishing my ball.
Was I right? Did Sue need that in her life?
Sue did need that in her life. Thank you very, very much.
So that's your birthday present.
That's kind of awesome. Yes.
Which is not for another week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's coming.
Week and a half.
I love it.
Thank you. I knows my Sue.
You do. If anybody does, you do.
So that was the stash.
That's it.
That's it.
Yep.
Nomadic Yarns. Now I will warn you, if when you order from Nomadic Yarns, you order in her Etsy shop, everything is dyed to order, so none of it is pre-made. So when you order, you're looking at about a 6 to 8 week wait. Don't expect it to ship out that week. Don't expect it to ship out the next week. I waited 2 months for this.
Yeah, she dyed it.
So
after the order
it's
came
worth
in.
waiting for, as far as I'm concerned. This was definitely worth waiting for. The colors are gorgeous. And her base is very, very soft. Well, at least this one is. It's the twisty sock base. It's a very, very nice, solid base.
Superwash merino nylon.
Yeah. So, as far as I'm concerned, it was worth waiting for. But if you want sock yarn like now, don't order from here. Do it if you're gonna. It's a delayed gratification thing. You order it and then you wait,
or you forget,
and then it comes and you're like, yee! So anyway, it arrived in my mailbox on Monday.
Speaking of superwash yarn, I washed and dried my Marco Polo in the machine. It turned out pretty much okay. If you're on my Instagram feed, you'll see it. The only problem I have is there's a little extra fabric here from the way I need it to sit. And so I need Selma to come home and tell me how to fix that. Because up to me, I just fold it in on the inside and sew across.
Because you'll notice the difference. Sue has very narrow shoulders. And I have like much wider square shoulders, so yeah, it probably would have fit me perfectly.
Yeah.
Shoulder wise, but yeah, she needs slightly narrower shoulders.
I do. I need to knit a stitch and then count because I'm only supposed to do 5 rows of each. Anyhow, so I'm broke. Save me money.
Good God, this is going to be a short podcast.
It is. We're like at 29 minutes. So the first one is a new one that I totally forgot to tell you guys when I got my bag here. And it is from Ciara. That's her name. So this shop is Emerald.
How is it spelled?
Ciara.
Kiara.
Kiara. Sorry if I Emerald Fibers, and she is on Etsy, and she is giving us a 15% off until the end of June, and the code is Tangled15. And that is her business card. Nothing. She also wanted me to mention something that is really far away from most people, but I said I would do it. It's called Yarn Folk of Wool 2017, and
Okay,
it
it's
is
far for us.
Far for us. It's Whitehead at the Whitehead Community Centre in Northern Ireland, and it is on August 5th.
And UK friends, please don't forget to go vote.
So, Kate, are you going? Northern Ireland? Just saying.
Go vote.
Yep.
Register to vote.
Go, go, go! Okay. Next.
I won't tell you who I'm rooting for, but I'm pretty sure you've all figured it out by now. Woolridge Designs, who is our friend Tanya, who made this lovely bag, has given us 15% off until August 31st, and the code is the word 2 Tangled and the numbers 15.
Annie Pearl has given us 15% off until the end of the year, and it is Tangled 15. If you remember back, it was the Cats and Sweaters bag that I got not too long ago.
Geektastic Fibers is 15% off until the end of the year, and that is our friend Amanda in Germany. Germany, yes?
I believe so.
Germany. Yay! I keep thinking she's in Australia for some reason, but no, Germany. And the code is the number 2 Tangled.
Frog Peak Creations, sorry. 10% off until the end of the year, and the code is 2T2017.
No peeking.
What do you mean?
When I was opening the bag of yarn in the kitchen, I kept telling her, no peeking. Because I had cut open the top of the envelope, and there was another bag inside, so I was like, ugh, fine. So I'm into the kitchen to open that one.
I didn't peek.
Bags by Awesome Granny. Sorry. Don't mind my boobs. 10% off ongoing coupon code. There's no expiry date, and the code is 2TS10.
And 6 Munchkin Stitching. I did it this time.
I
because
know.
I started.
Well, I started counting when you started talking.
So did I. There's a problem with us saying this shop, and I'm finally getting it. 6 Munchkin Stitching. It's 10% off ongoing coupon with no expiry date, and it's the word 2 Tangled 10.
I can word, but I sometimes have difficulty Englishing.
Well, sometimes I can't figure out a word because, I know it in French and not in English.
Did you see the pictures of Trudeau with the French French president? The internet is going insane over this. There's a G7 summit in Italy this week. Italy? I think it's Italy.
Yes. Dolce & Gabbana?
Nah.
Yeah, I think they're in Italy because, the First Lady is there. So anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so there are these pictures that were taken of the French president with our prime minister, and it was funny because everybody's like, oh, this bromance, it's amazing. And I was like, well, Obama retired, so he kind of he was lonely. But anyway, so it was quite funny. And that's about all I'm going to get into about the G7 summit, because I'm going to keep my mouth shut about the rest of it.
I love our prime minister.
Me too.
In every way possible.
Well, he's done some things that I'm not overly fond of. Or he has failed to do some things that
he did with the socks recently. Star Wars?
Oh, the Star Wars socks. He was wearing, for May the 4th, he was wearing Star Wars socks in Parliament. And took a picture of, he pulled his pants up. Whoops. He pulled his pant legs up so that, sorry, we just lost our screen for a second. So he pulled his pant legs up so that you could see his socks, and somebody took a picture, and they were awesome.
Yeah.
And the other day, he had a little girl in his office at Parliament because she had won a contest to be Prime Minister for a day. And she had asked him if they could make a pillow fort in his office. So they made a pillow fort in his office. And Rob pointed it out to me. He says, God, what does your Prime Minister do all day sitting there making pillow forts? And I'm like, she won a contest. It was... Do you know why our frame rate sucks? Because we're using the laptop camera, not the big one. I just realized the light for the laptop camera is on, and that's why the frame rate is awful. Oh well, technology.
We're not doing it again. I guess we could have chosen.
We can do it again. Next time we'll switch the camera to the right one.
Like now?
No,
Oh.
not now. Not doing it again now.
Okay. Oops.
You guys can deal with the sucky graphics for 1 week. I mean, we love you, but we're not doing this third time. Time to go.
Yes. So happy.
I'm not the only one being goofy now.
No. So happy knitting, everybody, and we will see you all next week.
Yep.
As I give you a view of the full.
Oh, the painting.
The
yes.
painting.
Her pretty painting that she has.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.